week, we're going to be building our information so that when we're ready to create our graphic novel, we can have all that stuff, okay? So, before we actually start drawing our graphic novel, we actually need to know what we're drawing about, and that's where we research our inventor. This is where we're going to be researching Elias, you're talking to me, okay? So we must do research, and today we're going to be talking about two inventions. We're going to be talking about Garrett Morgan's invention of the traffic signal, right? And then the Wright brothers, which is the brothers who invented the plane. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to be talking about them too. We're going to be looking and creating a lot of research. Okay? And then I will tell you what you're going to do with that research for your homework today. Yes, sir.
I read about the Wright brothers on
Perfect.
UCLA.
Perfect. You're already ahead of the game here. So today, our objective is going to be conducting research to take notes about how invention was developed to meet society's needs. You're going to be able to explain what people needed and how their needs were met using quotes from the text. And then we're going to be answering questions quickly, drawing information from multiple sources. I'm going to go ahead and pass out the notes for today. Go ahead and put your name on it. Thumbs up once you have your heading on your paper. Okay. Alright, so before we jump into our read, what is the purpose of our first read when we're reading a new article? What is the purpose of the first read? I see two hands, so we're just go ahead and do a turn and talk. So turn and talk to your partner. Listen, please. Hold on. You're using a pianissimo voice, right, as soft as possible. You're talking about what the purpose of the first read is, and then you're going to go ahead and track me once you're done. Okay, you have about 45 seconds. Go ahead and turn and talk to your partner. What do we call the first read? Nope, that's not. That's a title. What do we call the first read? Talk about it. Okay, and we're back in 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright, what is the first read for? What are we doing it for? Just because Lopez likes to make you read so much. Levy? To find the gist. Give me a thumbs up. Is that what you said? Do your turn and talk. Good. To find the gist. And what is the gist? Ella?
It's like the main idea.
It is the main idea, right? It's where we are gathering the overall sense of the topic. Our first introduction for it. Okay? We're not taking any notes. We're just reading for the gist of it. Okay? So the first one, I'm going to go ahead and model this with you. And the first one is called Transportation from the Soapbox Derby to the Jeep. First automatic traffic signal. You're going to be following along on your paper. Garrett A. Morgan, an African-American businessman and inventor, invented the first automatic traffic signal in 1923. It brought order and greater safety to city streets congested with increasingly popular horseless carriage. The first traffic signal was installed in Cleveland at the corner of Euclid Avenue and East 105th Street. Inspiration for the invention came to Morgan as he watched traffic flow on the busy streets of Cleveland. Morgan sold the invention to the General Electric Company for $40,000, and General Electric began manufacturing the signals. Morgan was the son of former slaves and grew up on a farm in Kentucky. As a teen, he moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. While he never went past elementary school and formal training, he did work with a tutor in Cincinnati. Morgan moved to Cleveland in 1895 and went to work as a sewing machine repairman. His understanding of mechanics helped him both in his trade and also in his memorable inventions. In 1907, he launched his own business that repaired sewing machines and also trained others to do the same. Not a man to focus just on one thing, Morgan started a newspaper in 1920 called the Cleveland Call. It was during this period that Morgan came up with the idea of the traffic signal. While color lights were incorporated later, Morgan's idea was a machine that displayed 3 versions of signs: stop, go, and then all directional stop. The all directional stop was designed to allow people to cross the busy streets. While others may have been working on similar ideas at the time, Morgan was the first to acquire a U.S. patent for his work, which was granted on November 20, 1923. So far we've learned about patents. So why is it important that he got the patent first? What is it? Right, so basically we talked about this, right? A patent is saying like this idea was yours first, and if people want to use it, they have to give you credit in the sense of like they have to say that it was your idea and they made it better, and they have to also give you money for it. So when you guys create your next invention, make sure you get a patent so that way that like if someone tries to steal your idea, like in the windshield wiper, took your idea, so they still get credit, okay? Morgan also contributed to public safety with other inventions. He invented helmets and gas masks used by firefighters in the early 1900s. He also invented a gas mask that was used extensively in 1914 during World War I to protect service people from the effects of chlorine gas fumes. Okay, so this is the picture here, the drawing here, the next page, is the actual picture of the first traffic signal. So you see this one says just stop here. Okay, that's what it looked like before his design. Okay, what I want you to do, take about a minute. Take about a minute and a half. Go ahead and give me the gist. Remember, a gist is not a quick, it's not a whole summary. It's a very quick about. What is it about? What do you remember about it? Go, minute and a half. Some people using the actual name of the inventor, Garrett A. Morgan. That's a good way to put in your gist. Give about 45 more seconds. with me. What was the gist of this article? Actually, this side of the room. I need somebody this side of the room. Tyrese. Tell me what you wrote. He made gas masks for fires. Yeah, that was part of the gist of it. Okay.
It is about J.A. Morgan invented the traffic signals and other inventions and got it patented in November 1923.
Perfect, right? Garrett A. Morgan, who invented the traffic signal and other things just like the gas mask, and how he was able to keep people safe also with that. Okay? We're going to go ahead and move on to this. Okay? Why don't you guys go ahead and turn to this one right here? So this is going to be our expert text charts. So this is where we're going to become experts on the traffic signal. So we're going to be able to fill all this out based on the traffic signal. Okay, so let's look at these boxes. Alright, so the first box up here in the top right hand corner right here says background information about the invention. Okay, explain why people needed or wanted this invention. So this is where we're going to go ahead and write those notes there. Okay, and then below it, information about the impact, explain how this invention changed people's lives. Next one, information about developing a solution, explain how the inventors solved the problem. And the last box, background information about the inventors. Not only are we learning about the invention, but also the person who invented it. Okay? We're going to be writing a little bit of their history, motivation, special skills, or preparation of it. Okay, and then we have our thought bubble, right? Can someone read what's inside the thought bubble, please? Erin.
What need or want inspired the development of this invention?
Good. And let's go and do the speech bubble for me, please. William.
How do people's needs met and by whom?
Okay, so our goal is to, when we do our second read, is finding the information to fill in these boxes. Okay? So we're going to be looking for specific information and not just reading it just for fun. Okay, we're looking for information to fill up these boxes. So let's go ahead and go back to the article. Alright. So as we're reading, I'm going to focus on the solution, right? His solution of how the inventor solved the problem. We're going to start with that box first. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to read the first paragraph again. Garrett A. Morgan, an African-American businessman and inventor, invented the first automatic traffic signal in 1923. Okay? So, that sentence has a solution already. He invented the first automatic. So I'm going to go ahead and underline that. Traffic signal in 1923. And I'm going to put an S next to it. Why am I going to put an S next to it? Carlos.
Solution.
For solution. So it brought order and greater safety to city streets congested with increasingly popular horseless carriage. The first traffic signal was installed in Cleveland at the corner of Euclid Avenue and East 105th Street. Inspiration for the invention came to Morgan as he watched traffic flow on the busy street of Cleveland. Morgan sold the invention to General Electric Company for $40,000, and General Electric began manufacturing the signals. Okay. Now here, there's a couple more things we're talking about. So as I'm looking at my bubble sheets or my boxes here, I'm looking also for the why he needed to invent it, and I can see that it brought order and greater safety to city streets congested with increasingly popular horseless carriage. And I'm going to put a W next to it, so that's my why. And they even tell us a little bit about his history, how the idea came to him, right? So, inspiration for the invention came to Morgan as he watched traffic flow on the busy streets of Cleveland. So I'm going to put that as the H for history. So now I know that, like, as I'm writing this out in my boxes, I know where to go back and look for the information. All right, let's go to the next paragraph. Morgan was the son of former slaves and grew up on a farm in Kentucky. As a teen, he moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. Is that a good history about him as an inventor, his background? Is that a good history? Yeah, right? So I'm going to go ahead and underline that. That's important to know that he was a son of former slaves and that he grew up in a farm in Kentucky. That's our history. Also, the fact that he moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, because that's where he was looking at the living streams. Kind of like Philo, right? Well, he never went past elementary school and formal training. So he did work with a tutor in Cincinnati. Morgan moved to Cleveland in 1895 and went to work as a sewing machine repairman. I'm going to go ahead and underline that because that shows us his skills, and that's going to be part of his history. So I'm going to put an H next to that. So knowing what skills he's good at or what he was interested in is also tells me a little bit more about the inventor. His understanding of mechanics helped him both in his trade and also in his memorable inventions. In 1907, he launched his own business that repaired sewing machines and also trained others to do the same. Not a man just to focus on one thing, Morgan started a newspaper in 1920 called the Cleveland Call. It was during this period that Morgan came up with the idea of a traffic signal. So that's important because obviously with that he was able to create that started to lead to him to the traffic signal. So I'm going to put an H next to that one too. Now this also helps because remember when we started reading Philo, Farnsworth's book, we learned a little bit about his history and how he was interested in science and electricity and those science magazines, right? And so when we're drawing a comic, we have to build a background for it. You can't just start with the problem. You have to give us a little bit of the background information. So like if I was doing this as a graphic novel, I can picture him working on a newspaper, creating that, thinking about his ideas and all that, okay? This is what we're looking for today. All right, next paragraph. While color lights were incorporated later, Morgan's idea was a machine that displayed 3 versions of signs: stop, go, and all directional stop. Now, this sounds like a solution to me, right? So we're going to go ahead and underline color lights were incorporated later as an S. And Morgan's idea was a machine that displayed 3 versions of the signs: stop, go, and all directional stop. S for solution. The all-directional stop was designed to allow people to cross the busy streets. I'm going to go ahead and underline that too because that's part of the solution. While others may have been working on similar ideas at the time, Morgan was the first to acquire a U.S. patent for his work, which was granted on November 20, 1923. That sounds like history to me, so I'm going to put an H next to that one. Morgan also contributed to public safety with other inventions. He invented helmets and gas masks used by firefighters in the early 1900s. He also invented a gas mask that was used extensively in 1914 during World War I to protect service people from the effects of fluorine gas fumes. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer all of these into my charts right here. Okay? Alright, so have this open next to you. Alright, so I'm going to start with the history of Garrett Morgan. So we're looking at this box right here. Okay? So, the first one we're going to start from top to bottom. We learned that he was a son of a former slave. So that's important to write. So I'm going to put a bullet point. was the son of former slaves. And if you can't see, Tyrese, you can go ahead and move Michaela also for you. He grew up on a farm in Kentucky, but moved to Ohio. I like how you guys are writing and really trying to get all these notes together. I'm writing small because we have a lot of notes to write for this section, so make sure you are writing kind of smallish.
No, not that one. Second one. Second one. Yeah, double T.
No, she and Angel, you can also hear what I say though. Okay, continue. He worked as a sewing machine repairman. He was interested in machines. And the last one, I'm going to add a quote. So what I did right here was I paraphrased, so I took the notes into my own words and kind of just created a bullet point for it. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quote. And remember, quotes need to have quotation marks so I can show that I copied it from the actual passage. Okay? So, inspiration for the invention came to Morgan as he watched traffic flow on the busy streets of Cleveland. And quotation marks, beginning and end. And I will move it up so you guys can see it. Okay, thumbs up. Okay, let's take that off your face. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move on. the first automatic traffic signal in 1923. The machine had 3 signals. For stop, go, and all direction stop. The all direction stop was to allow people to cross the streets. And we got one more. Colored lights were added later. Don't worry, these 2 are the longest ones. The other ones are a little shorter. Just climb. Push through it. Thank you, Ella. Thumbs up if you're done. Alright, almost there. Okay, I'm gonna move on. It's okay if you didn't finish up. I will give it to you later. You gotta move on. Now we're gonna move on to the impact. Explain how the invention changed people's lives. So we know that the impact of that was it made people safer for drivers and for people walking. So imagine having a stop traffic light, but it's only red and green for cars, and you don't know when to go ahead and cross, right? So he came up with that part. So the traffic lights made the streets safer for drivers and people walking. And he said that it brought order to a city street congested with popular horseless carriages. So I'm going to copy that. It helped bring order the city streets. Congested. Congested means it's like really backed up, it's really busy. With increasingly popular horseless carriages. And that's the quotation because to be from the actual passage. Let's see. Wasn't too bad. I see Collie thumbs up. Blake has a thumbs up. Collie, you need to get up.
Bless you.
Alright, we got one more box and two more sections or a bubble speech and talk bubble. So let's go ahead and move on. Do explain why people needed or want this invention. But on top right here. Okay. Two, obviously there were many more cars on the road and the streets were busy. Remember, I'm putting these in my own words. Many more cars on the road and streets were very busy. This will sound like traffic was not organized. Go ahead. Actually, can you finish your notes first and then you can go? Traffic was not organized. And it was not very safe. Safe for people to cross the street. Done. Taylor. Alright, we got a thought bubble and a speech bubble. Alright. Let's start with our thought bubble. It says, what need or want inspired the development of this invention? So, obviously people needed a way to direct traffic so that the streets could be more organized and safe for drivers and pedestrians, right? Pedestrians are the people who walk. So we're just gonna write that. That was the need and the inspiration behind it. So people needed a way to direct traffic so the streets could be more organized and safe. We'll just put safe. Okay, now next question is how are people needs and by whom? Right? So what was the name of the inventor?
Garrett.
Morgan. Don't forget his last name. So Garrett Morgan. Morgan's traffic signal told drivers when to stop and when to drive. So they would not get into accidents. Well, too bad we still get into accidents, right?
Yep. They don't.
Okay, so now with this all filled out, I can kind of start creating this image, this idea. I need eyes tracking me, please. This image, this idea of how Garrett started creating the traffic signal, right? From his background of, getting interested in repairing things and mechanics to him seeing a need and a want in his city and trying to keep people safe. I can start putting together. Now, do I have enough to create a whole graphic novel?
Yeah.
A couple pages, but not enough, right? So what we're gonna do right now is, and I'll show it. I'll give it to you. Okay? Is we're actually gonna go ahead and split into two groups. Okay? One group is going to continue working on the traffic signal, and the other group is going to go ahead and start working on the airplane. Okay? So now, the way we're going to go ahead and pick this is you're actually going to pick it in a raffle style. Miss O'Brien, can you show us our little paper here? Yes. So we have a bucket here that says either airplane or traffic signal. So it's all out of chance, okay? So you can't get mad at me because I put you on something. It just happens. There's no switching. You get what you get and you do not get upset. Okay? Now, when you go into the Miss O'Brien and myself will be in each of the groups. Okay? You're going to go ahead and do something, the same thing here with the new article that we're going to give you in those folders that we were creating today. Okay? And you're also going to be answering some questions together to really get more information. Okay? Because tonight, for homework, people were asking me, what are these graphic novel sketches part 1 and part 2? What you'll be doing, you'll be getting these pages here. Okay? We're going to be asking you about the invention. So if you were talking about the airplane, that's who we were writing about. If you were learning about the traffic signal, that's who you were drawing about. Now, the first page asks you, what was the need and the want from the inventor, right? Oh, not right. You guys don't know that. So, what I did, I took Philo Farnsworth's story and I created my own sketch so you guys can see what it's going to look like. So we know that Philo wanted to bring people together, right? That was the need. That's what he saw. And he's like, wow, the radio brought people together. Imagine if you can actually see the same thing, talk about the same thing. There'll be world peace in the world, right? So what I did, I took that and I said, well, what does that look like in a picture? And this is what I came up with. So, in your work today, this is why the work today is really important, because if you don't do any work, your homework's going to be a little bit tougher. Alright? It asks me to identify details that they help explain the need or want that inspire the development of the invention. Okay? We're going to create one splash page. This is my splash page. This is the first page that they will see. Okay? And it tells me that I have to add a speech or dot bubble with each text that explains the need or wants. Finish the sketch by using one color to draw attention to the most important part. So you guys see the shape here? What is it? Heart, right? You want people together, unified. Okay? And my speech bubble says, I wish I could, dot bubble says, I wish I could see what they're saying. And so they're all listening to the radio. Okay? And he says, I'm glad you all came today. Right? So it brought unity together. Okay? Now, it's okay if it's like stick figures.
Okay.
It's okay, but I need you guys to see you trying to put it together. It can't just be something you did it really quickly. Okay?
Okay.
I'm not done. The second page you'll be doing, part 2, or page 2, is going to be the solutions part. Okay? It's going to be where you show me one of the steps that the inventor took to create his idea, or her idea. Okay? Now, so we know that Philo's idea came from the light bulb and from having electricity, so I made sure that my panel was split into 2. Okay? I have an information box because it tells me to go ahead and add an information box here. Okay, and I have another information box here, and we see him looking at the box that was creating the light and the electrons, and he can say that we're pushing through. Okay? So, 2 different styles. This one's not that, the details in the back is not that great. Hey, go with what you know. But I need to see color. You need to make sure that all of these are met. Okay? And that it shows something that I can read and see. That is going to be homework. The way you're going to get the information is in these next 2 groups.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not going to be up here if you guys can. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just put it in here. You're going to grab one of these. You're going to say either airplane or traffic signal. You're going to keep it. And then we're going to split into 2 groups, okay? No, we split them. Get what you get, you don't get upset. I'm scared. Come on. Wait, I'm here. I know training. for you.
Yes, that's why I hit my.
Alright, thank you, Levy. Thank you, Michaela. We're ready for you. Okay, so what we're going to do now, what I need you to do is go ahead and put these notes in your binders, please, because you're going to get new ones to do with this group. So put these notes in your binders behind your gift tracker, remember. Oh, you know that's the first half. Not the all on the back. Behind the first half. Come on, come on, come on.
I got airplane.
And you're tracking me in 5. I got my glasses. Your mouth is closed in 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All that you're going to take is a pencil and your eraser if you need it. You're going to leave your binders here. You are not taking your binders. We will give you new notes when you move. So, if you are an airplane, raise your hand. Airplane people. You're going to go ahead and fly over on that side of the room. Now listen, if you're not an airplane, if you're not an airplane, you're going to move to this side. The middle people is going to be half airplane, half traffic signal. Okay? So if you're an airplane and you're on this side, go ahead and start walking over, please. If you are in traffic signal and you are on that side, go ahead and walk over here.
Oh, we all have
My traffic signal. You are going to be having a new folder. I'll listen. Okay, this folder is going to be all about the traffic signals. Okay? So this is what you're going to be taking home today to use for you to do your sketches. This is what you're going to be using. We're going to keep adding to it throughout the week. Okay? So what I need you to do in the top right hand corner, write your name and your homeroom. Name and homeroom.
Ladies first, Steven. Okay. What are we going to write? Then you can. Yes. So go ahead and write your name and your homeroom.
Wait, I have a big Sharpie in my backpack.
Stop writing.
Okay, let's go. We're writing your name. Okay, what is I going to be lower than this? Write your name and your I'm not giving you another one. You just had it. Name and where the marker come from? you the voice level that needs to happen right now. It needs to be pianissimo. We're both going to be working at the same time. Our room is small, but you guys have some really loud voices. So I need you guys to go ahead, and right now there's no need to be talking. All you're doing is filling out your name on this. Like Mr. Ryan said and myself said, this folder will be going with you home today to use to do your homework. You must bring this back tomorrow. We're not giving you guys a new one. We only have limited amount. Give me a second. Okay? So I need everybody's mouth zipped up right now. So you're just writing your name. Go ahead. Alright. Okay, so what we're going to do, open up your folder. We have a new article to read. Can you guys hear me back over there? Carlos, can you hear me okay? Okay. So we have a new article to read. So we're going to read the first one for the gist. And then we have some questions that we're going to be answering. And then ultimately, if we have time, we need to go ahead and fill out our charts. So this one, with the information that we find, okay? Because this is what we're going to use to create our sketches for today. Alright, so we're going to do a popcorn read. So you're going to read, I'm going to read first, and then I'm going to pick someone else to read. So your article should be open. William, should be open. Alright, Garrett Morgan, inventor hero. On July 24th, 1916, a natural gas explosion trapped 32 men working in a tunnel 250 feet below Lake Erie. The first would-be rescuer who dashed into the tunnel were overcome by gas, and for hours no one else dared to enter the suffocating poisonous death trap. Then, late that night, someone had an idea. Send for Garrett Morgan and his new invention. Continue, Carlos.
So remember, first time we're reading for the
Garrett Morgan was a successful factory owner in Pennsylvania, the son of freed slave and the seventh of 11 children. He had built on a farm in Kentucky, but left home at 14. By age 30, mechanically minded Morgan had opened his own sewing shop, which he soon expanded to a tailoring factory for 50 employees.
Ella, continue.
And other parts of the 100 recovered and explosives. They were often made of wood with metal fires were devastating.
Keep reading.
Morgan said he had
No, concerned about. The next part.
concerned about his employees. Morgan experiments with a safety net that allowed the
Where?
bear to breathe despite fire toxic smoke. Morgan knew smoke rises during a fire, so he created a heat resistant with a long position over, and Morgan said a firefighter could breathe the cleaner and air near the ground. Morgan lined the breathing tube with a sponge-like material that moistened or used in cool and filtered in the air. A second tube released exhaled air.
Good. Roused from home on the night of the tunnel explosion, Garrett rushed to the disaster site with samples of his safety hood. Still in their pajamas, he and his brother Frank put on hoods and bravely entered the tunnel. It was a dangerous test of the invention, but they saved 2 lives and recovered 4 bodies before officials closed the site. Morgan knew that more lives might have been saved if he had been called sooner. The daring rescue made Morgan famous and brought requests for safety hoods from fire departments around the country. But his greatest reward was knowing that his invention would now save more people. Over the years, Morgan patented many ideas and saved lives or made life easier. In those days, city streets were crowded with horses, carriages, bicycles, and pedestrians. One day, Morgan, the first African American in Cleveland to buy an automobile, was driving his new car when he witnessed a terrible collision between another car and a horse-drawn carriage. Morgan decided that traffic control signals could prevent such tragedies. Go ahead and continue reading for us.
Should the airplane structure be
William,
relatively light
you can
or
see
heavy?
it.
That depends on the cargo required. This must be 2 persons or a whole company of soldiers and equipment. A necessity to get it airborne.
Popcorn, visible at night.
Alive.
In addition, existing signals have no caution sign between operators of one direction and intersection of aircraft. Oncoming driver had time to stop to solve his no problem. Morgan invented an
Electric.
signal with 3 positions: stop, go, and all directional stop for vehicles to let them cross in safety. The signal operator
And write down what you think the gist is of this argument. She's already writing right away. She's write down what the gist is of this argument.
Bus General Electric Corporation
This table's on it or
$40,000. The signals were used across the country and set the black, yellow, red flags today.
Thank you. Once in a while, someone comes along who actively looks for ways to keep others safe. Such a person was Garrett Morgan, who in addition to his inventive genius, was blessed with genuine concern for the well-being of other people. Okay, so you can see like the cars, how they look, and you see the horse-drawn carriages of the horses and the pedestrians. So this is what it looked like. So this is what Garrett Morgan had to live through when he saw the collision happen, which inspired him. Okay, so turn the page over. You guys can go ahead and fold it down. That's fine. So let's see. First read. What is the gist of the article? Garrett Morgan, inventor, hero. Go ahead and write it down for me. Yeah, in the line. So Tyrese, just catch up on the reading, and then we're writing the gist right now. Quickly. Alright, can I have someone share their gist for us, please? Speak a little bit louder. Yeah, so it was about when someone's out already, right away. So, Angel, what did you write for your gist?
The article is about Jared Morgan's invented hero.
It's about what? Garrett Morgan?
Yeah, that he was an inventing traffic light.
Okay, good. Alright, so we're going to be answering specific questions about this article. So we see here and there on the left column, it tells us where to look at. And then there's going to be some questions on the right column. So it says the first one says reread paragraph 2 silently, then use details from the text to answer the questions on the right. Okay? So let's go back to paragraph 2 of our story. So that starts with Garrett Morgan was a successful factory owner. So it's back in the front. So read the paragraph by yourself, take about 40 seconds to read it by yourself. Stop playing with that or fix it? paragraph 2?
Just paragraph
Huh? I need you to read paragraph 2 before you go.
That's fine. And then we.
Did you finish?
No.
Then read it first. We're reading paragraph 2.
Just paragraph 2.
Give me a thumbs up once you're done reading paragraph 2. Thumbs up once you're done reading paragraph 2 over there. Okay. So then it says locate and circle the phrase mechanically minded. Can you guys find that in paragraph 2? Go ahead and circle it. Mechanically minded. Tyrese, are you doing this? You're circling the word mechanically minded in paragraph 2. Okay, what do you think mechanically minded means? Let's look at this word, mechanically minded. So what do you think it means? William. What gives you that clue? What part of the word makes you think that?
Some of the problems here so from paragraph 2, mind can only like just say it sounds like
Okay, so do you guys agree that it means that it just, thinking about mechanics here? Okay, so let's look at this word, right? Mechanically minded, right? Mechanically, we know that mechanic means a machine or something like that, right? And so what does minded mean? Like what does that make you think of, Justin? Minded. What word comes up for you? Someone's mind, right? So somebody who's mechanically minded means what? Like, so something good about mechanics, right? They really like how things are broken down and how things work, right? So let's go ahead and write our definition down on it. So turn back to the questions. Okay, it says right here, what do you think mechanically minded means? What words in the text makes you think so? So let's write a complete sentence. So I think mechanically minded means, and then tell me what it means, and tell me how. Tell me how you know that.
so now okay, so what we're going to do next is look at a problem that we have. We're going to put it in a word to describe what this problem was. So that we put it in our own words that we can understand.
Word it out.
But they were underlined.
Okay, and how do you know that? What word in the text makes you think that? And I just because in the text it said blank.
The line in the space below.
I think mechanically minded means this because in the text it said blank.
We're putting back what we underlined in our own words. And go ahead and write it down. Once you're done writing, give me a thumbs up. We're referencing to something in our own words. Yep, we're using that part of the underline and putting in our own words. Yes.
You want it back?
So this is 100 and the end of the sentence.
Alright, give me a thumbs up once you guys ready to move on. Alright, so the second part says underline the parts of this paragraph that explain how Garrett Morgan demonstrated he was mechanically minded. So what do you think the word demonstrated means? Demonstrated, Carlos.
How we showed.
So it means showed what someone did, right? So when we do a demonstration, is you show something to somebody else, right? So we're looking for evidence that shows that he was mechanically minded in that second paragraph. So go ahead and go back to the second paragraph, and all you're doing is underlining where he showed that he was mechanically minded. Go. I see. Are you have a question? Or you just thumbs up? Okay, so Ella, what did you underline? Tailoring. Perfect. So she got the first line. Morgan was a successful factory owner in Cleveland. By age 30, Morgan had opened his own sewing machine shop, and she also got the third one, which he soon expanded to tailoring factories with 32 employees. So Justin, do you have this underlined? Okay, make sure you get the top one. All right, let's go on to the next question. Next question. Can someone read the next question for me, please? Let's go with Brooklyn. Okay, so we're looking at paragraph 6, and then use details from the text to answer the question on the right. Why did Garrett Morgan think people needed a traffic control signal? So let's look for paragraph 6. So it says 1, 2, 3 is in the front. 4, 5. Okay, so we're looking at, which one are we looking at? Where to start with?
Here, during the rescue.
We're going to be looking since when other inventions had experimented. That one. No, I'm sorry. It's the one before it. So it's the one over the years. Says over the years, Morgan patented many ideas that save people's lives. That paragraph, you guys see it?
Yeah.
And it goes into the next page. Okay? Yeah, so it starts with that one and it goes here. Alright, go ahead and whisper read that to yourself, and that means no whisper read it to yourself.
Can somebody read the next question? Oh, someone say it now. All right, here's Mary. Give me the question.
And then once you're done whispering reading, go ahead and answer the next question by yourself.
How in the regular flying machine, right?
Aaron, is this what Brian talking about? Or are you talking? Okay, maybe you can't sit there, then we can go ahead and fly.
So, what
Show me with your fingers.
Okay, so you're answering the question. Move on to answering the question.
And write down your answer. So we're writing down the answer to the second question. How is it right down? Write it down.
Keep it on the same line. Show me, give me the details.
Yes.
Make sure you include details from the passage, the article.
Yes, write it down.
ahead, Angel.
Let's go to your original sequence.
Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Can someone share their answers with me? Can I have someone share? Steven.
People needed traffic control because people were getting into accidents, like the car and the horse race.
Good, like the car. You wait for Kenny to come back. Yes. Good. Okay. So he used example from the article to explain his answer. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Alright. So it says reread paragraph 7 silently, then use details from the text to answer the questions on the right. What were some of the problems with other inventors' ideas for a traffic signal? Okay. What were some of the problems with inventors? So we're looking at paragraph 7 to do that. So go back to paragraph 7. So what was one of the problems, Stephen?
The problem was that they all was hand cranked.
So a hand crank, that means, Tyrese? Hand crank means that someone had to literally change the colors or change the stop to go, right? But like people need to speak, right? Eat, and like they can't really do that. So that was one of the problems. So go ahead and write that down. So some of the problems were that their signals had to be operated by hand and were not visible at night. Some of the problems were that their
Why do you think powered, controllable aircraft were able to do what earlier flying machines couldn't accomplish? So again, why do you think powered,
operated
aircraft could do what flying machines
by hand.
operated? Hold on, we're not ready yet. If you need to refer back, go to the second paragraph, and we're searching where it says powered, controllable aircraft. Go ahead and circle that so you know exactly what they're talking about. I'll come around if you can't find it. It's in the second paragraph. Circle powered, controllable aircraft. And then go ahead
Operated
and
by
circle
hand.
it and write down your answer to that. This is your final question.
You just got it over there?
Circle powered, controllable
You figure out the problem? So it has to be operated by hand.
And then you can go ahead and write your answer for the third question. In your own words, it's your job. So why do you know?
What's going to happen next is we're going to finish this during scholar hours, so that way you guys can have all that information, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on our sketches during scholar hours, okay? So what I need you to do is I need you to just go ahead and close this. Yeah, it's scholar hours.
Okay.
Alright, everything people. So what we're going to do, and then you're not done, we're going to actually finish it up during scholar hours. We do have scholar hours this week and next week. And then we go over your homework so that you guys can so what I'm going to do is right now, put it back together. Close it so that we can go back to our meeting. Okay, just stay seated right now. You know what to do. Don't move. Stop, 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 stop. Thank you, William. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Nyla. I'm waiting for 100%. Let me stop what you're doing and track me. Waiting for you. You can stop the tire, you shoot. Okay, like I said, we will continue this later on today. But when you go back to your seats, I need you to go ahead and put this away, and then I will pass out, I will pass out your 2 sketch pages first, put it inside your folder, and then put your folder away in your backpack. Okay? Carly, what are you going to do when you go back to your seat? And then? go back to your seat. I want to rest. Your voice level is at rest. Quiet feet. We're quickly moving and safely moving. Also, these little papers, put them in your folder too. I don't want to see them on my floor. I already see one on my floor. Keep my room clean. In your folder. All right, let's go ahead and move back to our seats, please.
Right here.
Leg. Carry, rest, voice level at rest. Thank you, Mia, for doing that. Nyla, for moving at rest. Not at rest, not moving. Voice is not at rest. Go ahead and start picking up binders though. No, you gotta put this one first in there. Put it in the pocket. Totally. In the pocket. Go ahead and put those in your backpack. Work on it at home. You need to, remember? You're gonna talk Okay, look above you. I said above, not below. Look above you. If there's any of those pieces of papers, please throw them away from me. I see some over here. I put paper behind you. Any thin pieces, please put it away.
I think it belongs to Ella.
Don't put it down.
No, you didn't. I keep mine.
Make sure you have your math notebook out and ready to go when you line up. Let me see what tables you go ahead and line up first. Ella and Taylor, you go ahead and line up. Yeah, please, for line up. Sure, each time you put it on, the ducking can you count the hoodie. For indoors, count the hoodie indoors.
Oh, you trying to count?
Yeah. Next two tables, go ahead. Next two tables, go. Let me see who's in line, quietly facing forward. Let's go, gentlemen. Now leaning on my window. Just enough where you left it to stop. Stop right there, lady. There you go. Okay, can I get the middle table going and line up, please? You first. Late. I'm still waiting for your table, and it's because you keep talking. Okay, go ahead. Aaron's table, let's go. Continue the other button. You can start over where you're talking. And the last table, let's go. Justin, I need you to stop talking now. Stephen, make sure you say excuse me if we walk by like that. Okay, don't forget, we have scholar hour today, so you are coming back after 5th period. Today is PE, so that means I should not see you in your PE clothes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. No.
Bye guys, let's go. Holly, let's go. I'm gonna ask you after for a back, okay? For a back. Get in that.